What's up? It's your boy Los, JC, and JJ. We are in Miami, and somebody's house that's very special to me and to Chicago. Yeah, I want you to say hi to JC. He's in the building right now.
JC, you made it with us, baby. You here with us, baby. I told you coming to MIA.
So you open the house, JC. In spirit, we love you. We'll see you when we get back to Chicago. So today's interview is with the famous, very famous, international, just not national, international DJ, and he goes by the name of Bear Who.
What up? Welcome everybody. It's your boy Bear Who. Welcome to the temple. Gonna hang out for a little bit. Flava Podcast is in the building, man. Come on, let's go hang out. Come on. See, representing the Boogie Beach, baby. You know what it is. Time for some nuts and bolts. Come to the studio. Come on. See how everything gets down. Welcome. Come on through. Check it out. It's your boy Bear Who. I'm hanging today with the Flava Podcast crew. They're in the building. We're gonna talk a little bit. Represent Chicago 305. You know what it is. Let's go. Let's make some beats, baby.
Let's put your hands together for Bear Who.
Yeah. What up, party people? What's good?
So what's up, Bear, man?
Man, it's just good to see you, man. Welcome you guys to Miami, to the MIA, to the 305.
Thank you.
Chicago's still to the heart. 773 to the fullest, baby. But you know.
Okay, so I got some what's called icebreakers. Some icebreakers. So you get ready for these actually. I'm at the top of the dome right now, so I don't got my script with me.
That's
at the top of the
it's
dome.
all good.
Okay, tacos or burritos?
Whoa. Tacos or burritos? I'm gonna go tacos.
Tacos, why?
Weight.
Explain.
Health. I'd rather have the burrito, too much dough, too much all that little, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Taco, you can always just take the meat out real quick, eat one or two. Nice, burritos are too big, too sloppy.
Alright, Tom or Jerry?
Ooh, Tom.
Why Tom?
Tom. He's just doing his thing, man. Tom is a cat, Jerry's a little mouse running around, trying to do, it's like, no, Tom, definitely Tom.
Arroz blanco?
Arroz blanco.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
I didn't have to say the other one.
Arroz blanco.
Okay.
Because you can put all sorts of stuff in it, too.
Okay. NWA or Wu-Tang Clan?
I gotta say Wu.
Why Wu?
I gotta say Wu. NWA, as amazing as they are, I'm an NWA freak. Love them. But Wu was saying more than just I'm gonna kill you and all this other stuff, and I'm kind of over all that. I really am. As much as I love Dre, and as much as I love Ice Cube, good Lord, the Jizza, the RZA, Old Dirty, Deck. I mean, just the method, Wu-Tang.
So that's good you said it. Nas or Jay-Z?
Nas.
Alright.
I'm a huge Jay-Z fan. Love Jay, but as far as my favorite rapper, lyricist, I would go Nas.
Okay. Good one. BMW or Land Rover?
What I got in the driveway?
I'm just throwing it out there.
I have had both. I gotta go Range Rover.
Okay, favorite movie?
Of all time?
They don't know. What does Bear love? What was his favorite?
Wow, I have so many. I mean, I'm a huge
one
movie
top
freak.
of your head.
Interstellar. Matthew McConaughey. Godfather. I'm a Star Wars nut.
Okay.
Old Star Wars versus new for sure. I just have too many, man. Django Unchained.
Okay.
We get deep. You know what I mean? So.
All right. Chicago pizza or New York pizza?
Oh, Chicago.
All day.
Now, when you talk about Chicago pizza, what type of Chicago pizza are you talking about?
I don't eat meat.
Okay.
So the sausage, I had to dump the sausage. I don't do the sausage thing, but just the Chicago pizza. I get like no sauce on it. I use olive oil only. Certain type of feta cheese, just throw down. But yeah, I'm a Chicago pizza. Okay. And back in the day, I still remember like Illuminati's, Geno's East.
Yeah. One good memory in Chicago that you will never forget, off the top of your dome.
Barack Obama winning the presidency.
Come on, somebody.
that night when everybody was in Grant Park and he rolled up and he was the president of the United States.
Yeah, that was special.
I'll never forget that.
If one of your school teachers were watching right now, it could be elementary, it could be high school, it could be college, who would you want to give a shout out to one of those teachers if they were watching this right now?
You know, we had in... I'm going to mess you up. I only had one Puerto Rican teacher.
Oh.
I'm going to give her the props. I think her name was Miss Lugo. She was in 7th grade. We gave her such a hard time because she had an accent and she was, you know, we gave her a hard time. Now at my age now, thinking back, we should have helped that lady.
Wow.
So I'm going to give her props.
Miss what again?
Her name was Miss Lugo.
Miss Lugo. Put your hands together for Miss Lugo. Miss Lugo, what's
7th
up?
grade. St. Sylvester's. That's right.
St. Sylvester's.
That's right.
Come on.
That's right. That's right.
What high school did you go to?
I went to 2 high schools.
Okay.
Freshman year I went to Gordon Tech, which was an all-boys school at the time.
Yeah.
And then I wound up going to Schurz.
Okay.
And I wound up graduating at Schurz at sophomore year, junior all the way up.
So what high school then? Gordon Tech or Schurz?
Oh, Schurz all day long.
All day long.
All day long. Bulldogs, baby.
What was the difference between the two?
Well, first of all, I wasn't comfortable at Gordon. There was at the time, you know, the neighborhood. There were some people that could afford private school. You know, even though we were Latinos and, you know, blacks at the time, it was tough. But majority of people that were at Gordon, I remember, were white, and it wasn't easy for the hood kids at all. But we all wound up either getting kicked out or transferring out the next year, and we wound up all going to either Schurz or Clemente. And then that's where life was, man. The neighborhood, everybody that you grew up with, your neighbors, ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends, cousins, brothers, everybody was at Clemente. It was a big hodgepodge, white, Latino, Asian, black, and you just had it was an education amongst the education. You know what I mean? So yeah, I always say
I'm
sure.
gonna put you back on this one because what we used to do back in the day, in our teenage years, Madonna or Josefina High School.
Oh, Madonna.
Why Madonna?
First of all, Madonna's right by Schurz, right down the street. And that was just the place to hang out, man. Josefina was too far. Josefina was all the way by like Clemente, up that way.
So for those that don't know,
what are those 2 schools?
Girl high schools.
There we go. Girls high
And
school.
both private.
Yeah, we didn't go to them. We didn't actually go to those schools. We just arrived at those schools.
Yeah, and that was, you know, as partiers, as DJs and promoters, you would go pass out flyers at the high schools. That's where the parties would generate from, because remember, we had 17 and over in all ages parties, which is unheard of today.
Yeah.
You know, think about it.
Gordon used to throw parties, right?
Gordon was Gordon was the name. But Gordon was But you would go to Madonna's where all the girls and even guys from like going to pick up their girlfriends and you know.
You just pick up girls, period.
And then just go there and hang. But it was always the same girls though. Depending on what year you were, it was always the
Clemente and go straight over there. Make sure where they were on.
Yeah.
So what was your first car that you ever had?
First car I ever had was a Datsun 210 hatchback, brown. That was the first car. It was my mom's car, but then it became my first car. I used to call it the Bear Mobile. It was a brown hatchback Datsun with pink. I had an unbearable sticker on the front. Okay. And pink. Okay. And a brown car. Oh, good Lord. Stick shift, so I can.
You're before your time. That's all it was.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I think all Puerto Ricans either had a Datsun or a Toyota. SR5 twin cam.
Toyota, Nissan, and they would be like they would battle, they would fight at the races.
Yes.
Like
the incinerators.
The incinerators. Like, girl, what do you? Because I have a Nissan and he has a Toyota, so he's not in the Toyota club.
So, baby, you recited. Were you born in Chicago?
Yeah, I was born in Chicago.
And you stood in Chicago for how long?
My whole life. I was there 40 years. I mean, my whole life. I've been there my whole life. I was born there. I've been here now for what, 3 years? So 47 years. I lived in Chicago.
So Barry,
OG.
There's a lot of equipment around you. When did you fall in love with music?
When did I fall in love with music? Well, that's easy. I had no choice. I was surrounded by, think about it, Puerto Rican family.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was into like disco and Tavares and Commodores and things like, you know, Al Green and Motown and things like that. So was my uncle, his brother, and then we also had my grandparents were all into the salsa thing. They were children of Fania. You know what I mean? You know, Willie Colon and Hector Lavoe and Gran Combo and Ismael Miranda and Celia Cruz and all of that stuff. I was in Mama. I was already in Mama listening to all that stuff. My mother was more into, believe it or not, like rock. The Beatles, Clarence Clearwater Revival. You know, things like that. My uncles were into, you know, Journey and Led Zeppelin and Rush,
which is also good music.
So then my dad was into the disco, so it was just this giant hodgepodge at the crib. You know what I mean? You're listening to all of this, and then in '83, hip hop hit. Next thing you know, it was just, you know, Planet Rock and Looking for the Perfect Beat and all that stuff in New York, and then house music hit in Chicago. So it was just like Jack Your Body, Zulu Nation, Celia Cruz, Lionel Richie, you know, you name it all. So I had no choice. I had no choice, and I loved it.
So, babe, you're an international DJ. Where have you been in this world? What continents have you been on?
I've been to Mexico, I've been to South America, I've been to Europe a few times, all over the U.S., of course Puerto Rico. Let me see, Germany. Well, I said Europe already. I haven't gone to like Africa. I haven't done Asia. But Hawaii, of course. You know, just
Where in Europe?
places.
Where in Europe?
I've been to Spain. I've been to Italy. I've been to Germany. I've been to England.
You're covering most of it now. You're covering most
Scotland.
of it. Okay. Oh, Scotland.
Yeah, I played the Arches.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Have you been anywhere in Asia? Like
No, never been to Asia. Never been to India, Dubai.
Okay.
Oh, Dubai.
Nice.
So that
one.
counts. So been to India, I've been to Dubai.
Before we get further into this interview, you have an event coming up before we forget, because I want to make sure that people see and know about your event.
It's
It's
plural events.
Yes. So where are these events and what are they about?
Well, first of all, I started out my own promotional company called Time to Bounce Party People, and you know, back in Chicago, everybody had crews. You had party crews. You know, your party crew.
Crazy crew?
Crazy crew. You know what I mean? Respect. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to keep that going. Like, my promotion company is a party crew. That's what I want it to be. And it's a mixture of people that I've known for the last, 40 years, 30 years in this industry. And it's just all of us getting together at certain parts of the world, whether it's Chicago or here or Puerto Rico or wherever I mentioned. And I like to throw parties. I like to do my own events. So Time to Bounce Party People was just me doing my own events now that I'm here in Miami. So I have, I do a party called Bango Bango.
Okay.
Which is a Thursday night. I do them once a month, my events. So I do Bango Bango, it's a Thursday night. And that's basically a rager, man. It starts at 10 o'clock, it goes to 3 in the morning.
They're still doing that.
Yeah, of course, man. Come on now. Just
Wow.
'cause we got older doesn't
I'm
mean
old,
that,
man.
you
It's
know?
like, my knees are jacked up right now.
Man, dude, there's parties that start here that you go at 6 or 7 in the mornings when you get there.
Wow.
You know, like you wake up, have breakfast, go work out, do all that stuff, get dressed, and then go to the event.
Wow. Okay.
You know, but so I do Bango Bango one Thursday a month at Coyo Taco. And then I do another party these are all at the Soho House. Soho House is a private membership only hotel, and they're all based around the world. So I do an event there here in Miami called Boogie Beach.
Okay.
And Boogie Beach is just my dedication to the house scene. Like I always say, if you everywhere around the world, if you know ooh ah ah nee ooh ah ah nee, then you're a Boogie Beacher. Like that's where you need to go. You know what I mean? So Boogie Beach is one Friday a month at the Soho House here in Miami, and you never know who's gonna show up, man. Like, oh, so no, oh my God, look who's here. You know what I mean? And I always have try to have the best house that you could possibly, all the new stuff, old stuff. And I always have some really, really top-notch surprise guests, DJs. So now I'm doing them all over the world. Soho Houses, I got one coming up in Barcelona, doing one in
Awesome.
Chicago, heading back to Chicago for the first time.
We'll be there. We'll make sure we show up.
Yeah, man.
Hey,
Flavor
hey,
Podcast is there.
Hey, if you want us there, we'll be there. We'll record for
Let's
you.
do it.
We'll
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
It would be more than wonderful to see you guys there.
Amen. Amen. On
And so
that.
those are the two. Right now, I'm working on a couple more. By the end of this year, I'll have 3. There's another one I'm working on. That should be a Saturday. I'll give you the name. First time I say it.
Do it.
The name of my Saturday is going to be called Body Music. It's going to be based here in Miami Beach.
Exclusive.
So I'm going to have exclusive, right?
Exclusive, baby.
Time to Bounce Party people
Yes.
presents their Saturday Body Music coming soon.
Amen to that. So baby, you're sponsored by certain people. I know you're sponsored by a tequila, I believe.
That's right, El Nacimiento Tequila. I got their bottle right over there.
Can I grab it and bring it to you if I can put it in the camera?
Yeah.
I'm coming up.
So props to El Nacimiento Tequila, a great tequila company,
Yeah, I'll put that
Latino
right there.
based,
Put that
Latino
right
owned, based in Chicago, guys. You see their Puerto Rican bottle, custom
That's dope.
bottle they gave to
That's
me.
dope.
So this is one of the crew of Nacimiento Tequila. Shout out to Billy and to Hector in the posse.
Awesome.
So and then I also sponsored by King Palm.
Cannabis.
King Palm Cannabis. They actually do the wrap, and the wrap is no nicotine at all, no tobacco. This is actually palm leaf. Palm.
So it's
Like palm tree
organic,
leaf.
right? It's
Yeah.
like some organic stuff.
Okay.
So if I'm a puff head, I've always said that if you know me, you know I puff. I don't front that I don't.
Me and Bear go back a long time. We know he puffs.
Yeah. So shout out to King Palm. Shout out to El Nacimiento
Salute.
doing their thing.
Word up. So Bear, when you were young and you fell in love with the music, when did you fall in love with DJing? And what was your first tables? What was the first song you played? Do you remember that time, that feeling, the smells? Because sometimes we could smell it still.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. I always say that house music picked me to be its rep. I didn't pick it. I fell in love with the whole DJing thing because my parents, Chicago, young, they would throw parties at the crib. I'm 10 years old, 9 years old, disco, whatever. People that lived in our building, the landlords of the building, were a DJ team called the Mozart Mixers. Mozart Street represent. And my parents would book them to come downstairs and DJ. So they would come downstairs, it'd be a big deal. All my parents' friends are showing up. I'm like, what the hell's going on? These guys would come down, they had crates and turntables, and the mixer at the time was huge, and lights, and they're setting up, and everybody's kind of excited, waiting for them to set up, and they're down, and I'm just like, whoa. It was like a kid getting into a spaceship. And I'm just like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And then they set up, and then the music starts, and then there's, the lights of the turntable and the headphones, and the guys with their shirts at the time. Everybody, they had their shirts that said Mozart Mixers, and I was like, this is it. That's it. I love this. I love it. I want to do this. So, we couldn't afford equipment, man. The reality of it was we didn't have the money. My parents couldn't afford, turntables and all that stuff. So what we used to do in the hood was used to form a DJ team, because maybe one guy had speakers. Maybe one guy had one turntable. The other homeboy had a mixer or an amp. The other dude had a turntable, so everybody would put their together, or their stuff together, excuse me. And that was it. You know what I mean? And then you would have, that was your DJ team, Didn't last long because everybody had their own agendas.
Right.
But as young kids, And then you would go to the flea market on Division. That's where they would sell the DJ equipment there.
Yeah.
And
The
I
old flea
remember-
market on.
so the first equipment that I bought was, I saved up like $125,
Okay.
and I went with my grandmother to the Division Street Flea Market.
Did you get a Gemini?
A pyramid mixer.
A pyramid. Okay.
And I was with wood grain on it, and I thought it was the greatest thing. I had no turntables. I had nothing to plug it into, but I knew that sucker worked.
Okay.
So I was just like telling everybody, yo, I got a mixer. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, Edwin, yeah, at the time.
Mm-hmm.
My first DJ name was Edwin the Count Rios.
The Count.
The Count, like, because I used to have the Sesame Street record.
Man, I did not know this.
Because it actually was Edwin Rocking Rios was the first one, and then I was just like, nah, I'm a little bit better than just rocking, because everybody had like, you know, Julian Jumpin' or Ricky Rockin' or, you know, Al Rippin', you know what I mean? So I was like, nah, I remember the Count here, the ha, 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 ha. So when I was DJing, I would play that. I would go, one, go, da, ha, ha. That was supposed to be my, like, you know.
Your signature?
Yeah,
yeah,
you know,
like your signature.
that little thing.
That's awesome.
That's pretty dope.
So you also had
Some radio time.
Chacho.
So what radio stations did you have this time at?
B96.
B96, okay.
B96 is where, you know, I've been around for a long time, you know, so I was around for BMX. I was a kid at the time. You know, they were based right there on Oak Park Street or whatever. It was an old folks home. It was where the BMX was.
Wow.
But you had you know, 88.1. You had, you know, 88.7, all those kind of places, Kennedy or Columbia College. I've been there, you know, they had everybody had their own DJ team. Shout out to all them. But it is when, you know, B96 is when I actually was my radio station that I was actually on. You know, we had our own show.
And B96 back then was the station everybody wanted to be on, right? In Chicago?
It was house is if you ask me why, it was the house music, the house culture. That was our stay. That was our catalyst. You know, whether you were white, whether you were black, it's kind of like that song. In the beginning, it doesn't matter. You know, whether you're Jew or Gentile, don't make a difference. It's true. You had all the Mexicans, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, South Americans, blacks, whites, Italians, Asians, everybody was listening to B96, and you had your own like DJ that you would listen to. You know, they would come on on the weekends. It was Friday, and you know, and you listen to the mixes for all night.
So you had a time slot?
No, I actually. So B96 was a little weird because I worked for Julian Perez at the time. I was Julian's, you know, assistant, valet, whatever you want to call it.
Apprentice.
Yeah, you know, so every time, even from, you know, first of all, I was a huge fan of Julian, listening to him from BMX for years. Yeah. So when I was like 17 years old, I started working and hanging out with him, and he showed me the everything about the house scene, you know, how to DJ, how to the club thing, how to everything. And that's when I met like Bad Boy Bill and you know, Tim Schomer and Mike Hitman and Frankie Hollywood and, you know, Eddie and Cool Rock and
you say Eddie, you say
Fast Eddie,
okay.
Tyree. But so getting back to that, so I would work for Julian. Julian was the one that was DJing, but I would always be with them, whether he was doing stuff live at the clubs, or he was doing stuff at on the radio station. And then we had our own show called Street Flavor that we used to do on Sundays. So it was more me hosting, doing a character, or, you know, answering phones, or the Cookie thing I did. So I did this character called Cookie for a while on B96 for him. It was fun, you know. And it caught wind. It caught.
What kind of character was this?
I used to pretend to be like one of these scoochies from the neighborhood. I'm not doing the voice.
He was trying to get you
But so it exposed me to the whole radio station, what it was like to be there live and answering phones and doing drops and, you know, playing the music. So, yeah, B96 played a big part. I'm never going to say it didn't. You know what I mean? And the mix shows were some of the best mixes in the world, you ask me.
Yeah.
You know.
So after B96, you got into a label.
Yeah. So man, the story is crazy.
B96.
So the journey was record store turned into the radio. Then from there, I went to my own record store, opened up my own record store. That was Unlimited with the rest of the crew. And then from there, I left Unlimited, and then I went to Gramophone.
Oh man, that was.
And Gramophone is like to me.
Or on Broadway.
Clark. It was on Clark at the time.
Yeah.
And gramophone to me is that's like the university of house music. Gramophone is just like, you know, I call it the Jedi Palace. It's kind of like it creates the Jedi. Like that's where you go and sharpen up your skills. And gramophone had the greatest of the best in the industry. You ask me, you know. So to work at gramophone was like an honor in itself.
So you worked there because I remember when I was younger, when you used to walk into gramophones, right? They had all the records and everybody assisted, but towards the back, what did they have towards the back?
Back was the DJ booth.
There you go. There you go.
Back was the DJ booth, and it was the actual back of the store, which was the office.
Yep.
And then it was all the records, and you had every wall was different. Every wall was curated by a different DJ. Like Psycho, she had her own wall. Derek Carter had his own wall. Andy Moore had his own wall. G Moss had his own hip hop wall. And that's how you would go and buy your records at the time. But gramophone was the best of the best. Like if you worked there, you were like a Jedi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I remember Common walking in there all the time. You never know who's gonna be there. Mark Farina, Colette, Heather, Diz, people, all these other DJs from around the world always flocked to gramophones. You know, they had the best records, they had the best knowledge of the scene. All the promoters that were throwing raves at the time and different events, gramophone, make sure you had your party, your flyers there. And so I worked at gramophone for quite some time. So now I went from like, you know, Fullerton, I'll be in the hood to the record store, to B96, to my own record store. Now I'm at gramophone. And then at gramophone I get a phone call one day from Strictly Hype Records. And they're like, hey Bear, you know, we know who you are. We also know that you're a college grad and all this other stuff. We need someone that's going to be the face of Strictly Hype and basically make us cool. We need help. We want a director of promotions and someone that's just basically going to become the label.
Okay.
So I was like, at the time, you know, Strictly Hype wasn't known as the most coolest and most popular label. They're kind of like Chicago's, you know, whatever.
Right.
But they had made this really popular record called Speed Racer, Gold Speed Racer,
Yeah.
which was so big that even MTV started playing the cartoon and everything. But it was because of DJ Tack, rest in peace, the owner of Strictly Hype, that made that record and blew him up. So now they had this huge influx of cash, a huge influx of like attention.
Right.
So now they needed somebody that was going to, they're like, listen, you were on B96, you worked at Jumpin' Music, you own your own record store, now you work at Gramophone, you know this person, that person, we need you. So I didn't want to be stuck. I wanted to keep moving up, and I was like, the record label was something I've always wanted to do. Now to run my own record label, like, I'm in. So that's when the Strictly Hype thing started, which led into Underground Construction, UC Music. So at one time, I think Strictly Hype, I was running or in charge of Underground Construction, Contact, which was DJ Hyperactive's label, Pitch, which was Rafi Rosario's label, After Hours, which is another more deep house record label, the way they went, DJ Funk's label, Paul Johnson's label. These were all the labels that UC was distributing at the time.
Wow.
So basically I was in charge of all of it, making sure that this music got out to the masses. And I used my connections of all the people I have known throughout my career. And it worked. Then I had the ability of becoming an A&R for the first time, which is actually going and getting the talent.
It's awesome. Wow. It's awesome.
So I was signing talent there. We went crazy with the mixtapes, with the mix CDs at the time. Hard House was a big deal.
Hard House.
Dance Works and Bam Bam and Tragic and Dave Rock and Duke and Kevin Halstead and Rick Garcia and Spiro and all of that. I was right in the middle of all that.
So I want to ask you this question. So since we interviewed Pam. Pam from Pam. He told us the story, but tell us your story. How did that happen?
Pam. My goodness. Well, I'm a neighborhood guy, bro. I don't front. I'm a Fullerton, Logan Square, Humboldt Park, Latino, Puerto Rican. Born and raised, and that's what it'll always be in the heart. So Fullerton and the whole Logan Square thing had its own culture going on. And I always say this, that if it wasn't for the Latino population in the north side, northwest side, the whole Fullerton, all that stuff, house music wouldn't be where it is. They never get the credit it deserves.
Facts.
But, you know, it wasn't just black, gay, and south side.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't. We were doing our thing. Thousands of us. You were part of it.
Packing in clubs.
And the
areas.
people knew the records, they knew the DJs, they knew the songs, they knew the dances. We would create our own dances, you know. So as my career took off, I always said, you know, I'm gonna find something in Chicago that represents Fullerton and represents all of that culture. The lowriders, the gangs, the big hair, the booties, all of that.
The street clubs.
The street club, all of that.
The car clubs. Yeah.
And I said, you know, I was always looking for talent. Hanging around Fast Eddie was one of the greatest honors of my life. Eddie's, you know, one of the greatest talents of all time. And is somebody I was with every day of my life, hanging out. We had a mean team, mean crew. AOU, the original AOU, which was actually, the original AOU was called Blue Funk Posse.
Was it?
Yeah. Sneak, Rippin' Al, myself, the guys from Legacy, Eddie, Tyree.
I remember Legacy. Those guys used to pack in the place. You say their name.
That's a whole other story. So basically, Pamp was hanging out with Eddie and the dancer. He's one of the dancers and all that stuff. And I just knew this kid as such an outstanding young man. He wasn't a gangbanger. He can dance better than anybody I've ever seen. Held himself together, educated, good kid. And I was just like, this kid's a superstar. There's the look, he has a magnet type of a magnetism that people just want to be around him.
The charisma.
And I said, dude, one day I'll get in a position where I want to be. I'm going to come back for you, and I'm going to make you a star. Mind my word. All right, cool with that, whatever. I separated myself from the guys. Everyone was still kind of doing the Fullerton thing, whatever. I was like, I'm on other things, you know.
Forward.
Growing up, come across, now I'm at Underground Construction, working with the owners, DJ Attack, hand in hand every day, and fighting most of the time. Him and I would clash every day on something. I remember the first day I got hired, I quit. I got fired and I quit.
What?
First day, because me and DJ Attack.
Wait a second, you said hired
and fired. Yeah, we got into.
You said quit.
We got into such a fight.
Okay.
The first day I started, because he tried to test my buttons, because he knew I came from the underground house scene and all that stuff, and he had kind of beef with it a little bit. But actually, he was trying to test me, and we got into it because he's trying to test me. Anyway, long story with DJ Tag, rest in peace. One of the greatest minds, and it wouldn't be for him, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now, honestly. Dude, you need to get out of here. I don't even want you working here. I don't want to fucking work here anyway, man. This record label ain't gonna do. I'm out of here. F you, dude. We're done. Bye, peace. I quit. You're fired. I don't want you working here anyway. Good riddance. Next day he calls me. He's like, dude, I totally want you. You're perfect. And I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna work out. I'm down. Working with Ang. So I'm driving home, and I'm like, you know what? I had this idea. I want to put together a house boy band.
A house boy band. Okay.
New Kids on the Block, Belle Biv DeVoe, but Chicago Fullerton, some straight house, some banging booty, all that stuff. I'm like, and I have an idea, and I know exactly where I'm gonna go. I was at a concert at the UIC Pavilion. It was R. Kelly and LL Cool J performing. From there, I look, and lo and behold, who do I see in the audience? Pamp. Who's short for MC Pampers? I don't know if any of you ever told you that. Okay.
No, I was
People don't
wondering
know
what
that.
meant,
Pampers.
man.
They
Yeah.
didn't know, but I knew.
No, I didn't know.
MC Pampers.
I was
He put it out there,
where
man.
you
It
get
wasn't
Pampers
me.
from?
It wasn't me.
Hey, you asked me about it. You asked me about
It
it.
was Bear.
You might
And-
edit this out.
And I was like, listen, bro. I'm like, listen. I'm working for UC. I'm an A&R. I have this idea. I came up with this song called Butter, and I have it. I want you to come in, meet my boss, and I want you to sing this song. He's like, okay, whatever. Went and picked them up. This is a true story. Went and picked them up, brought them to the studio, and introduced them to Attack. Attack plays a track. Pamp was like, what the hell is this? He's into hip hop, he's a rapper, whatever, and all of a sudden it's 125. He's just like, I'm like, look, this is the idea I have. I want to put together this group, boy band, some good looking Latino dudes that dance and whatever, do all the footwork and all that stuff, do house tracks, do a show and the whole nine. He's like, okay, cool. So he gets in the microphone first night. It was a Tuesday. Andy, DJ Tax playing the track. Pamp is all over the place. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Andy's like, dude, this ain't gonna work. Your boy's whack. This ain't gonna happen. And I'm like, yo, just chill. I know what I'm talking about. This is gonna work. Just hear me out. Pamp's like, bro, I'm not used to this, whatever. So we go home. I might bring him all day in the car and ride back. I'm like, let's try this again tomorrow. I'm gonna bring you back to the studio. It's Wednesday. Comes back on Wednesday. He gets something going and just falls apart. Doesn't work. And he's like, dude, this is not gonna work. It's not gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Pamp is like, it ain't gonna work. I'm like, guys, this is gonna work. Just took Pamp home, gave him a speech. I said, dude, he's gonna allow me to do it one more time. Just to kind of flow, whatever. Cool. Thursday, Andy's like, okay, bro, this is the last time. I'm not going to waste any more time on this guy and this song Butter that you got, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I said, all right, cool. I already had done my take. I'm the one that did butter. That's me, right?
Yeah.
So I did the whole thing.
We didn't know that's him that said butter. That's not Pamp's part.
Right.
That's
So,
part.
this track was pretty much already done. Pamp just had to come in and do the verses. I'm like, here we go. First time up, he's like, okay, here we go. Boom. Looking for the butter. I'm like, whoa, that's it. That's what I've been talking about. Stepped in the house looking for the butter. People, football, legs, dancing on the floor on the girl straight. I'm just like, draw drop. And he's like, holy Christ. I'm like, I told you. I knew it. And he called Alex Peace and Kevin Haas at Dance Works. I think they came to the studio. I already had left. Because these fools will be there till 2, 3, 4 in the morning. I'm out. Gave them the vocals. That's it. I think Tuesday comes around. Alex comes in. He's like, looking for the butter. I said, holy cow. That's it. That's exactly what I was looking for. That weekend, every single DJ on B96 started off their mix with looking for the butter, and it was a instant classic Chicago booty hit.
Wow.
From the minute they played it.
So this is who he was talking about.
And then Pam was just like, holy cow. And then so when he went back to the hood, the whole entire hood was looking for the butter. Every song, every car rolling out Fullerton, every car in the hood, looking for the butter.
That was a hit.
Every DJ,
I'm not gonna stop.
every mixtape, for at least 2 summers.
He wants to say something so bad, but he's keeping
No, hey, listen, man.
You're keeping it in. Go ahead.
No. I'm just saying that was to this day that song is timeless. Like I was telling Pamp, I was like, you put that song. Let's say it's just a slow and people are just losing interest in the music. As soon as the DJ puts that song on, the whole dance floor, everybody's gonna go to the middle of that dance
So
floor.
then I thought about it. So and I'm like, yo, we're not gonna stop now. So I'm like, we're gonna make a show. I'm not talking about just, I'm like, we're gonna revolutionize this shit. We're gonna make it into like a boy band thing. So Pamp and I recruited 3 other guys. We put together a boy band group, and we started performing Looking for the Butter. But it was a full show. We had an R&B
Oh.
singer. We had another rapper. These guys all looked good. They all could dance. We would rehearse every day, 3, 4, 5 hours a day. Put together these shows that were just uncomparable with anybody. We caught everybody snoozing. And it wouldn't stop. And to this day, 25 years later, Pamp is still traveling and still performing looking for the butter.
Actually,
He just,
he just went to Texas.
he just came back from Dallas.
Mhm.
So then at UC, we had Dino Latino, we had Pamp, we had Donna Blakely, we had Dance Works guys, we had Bam Bam, we had it was popping, Tragic, Sex Crate Superstars, and I was running all of that. It was an incredible time. So then
Wow.
the Hard House thing hit really big in California, hit really big in Texas. So all of the B stations that played mixes, the mix all the time was freestyle, Miami bass, and Hard House. Looking for the Butter was on the charts of everything, of all the mix shows.
Wow.
So I was just like, yo, you guys gotta start. I'm gonna have you guys start performing live in front of these, like at these car shows, and it just took off. As soon as the girls and everybody saw Pamp, and they're just like, it was a rap.
Everywhere.
Yeah, but well deserved. I mean, he deserves everything. He's a guy's talented. He's so talented. He can write. He can rhyme. He plays his position. He knows what he's doing, and he's a studio rat. He's a great businessman, and he's one of the highlights of my career, and still to me an incredible friend.
Wow.
So Bear, you came out to Miami.
305, baby.
305. What made you come out here? What's the difference between Chicago and Miami?
You asked me about Wu-Tang Clan or NWA, right? Wu-Tang Clan always describes the next chamber.
Yes.
This was my next chamber. It was my next chamber. I had done everything I could in Chicago. I've done it all. I mean, that's one thing. I mean, and I'm being sincere. I've done it all. Movies, videos, record stores, radio stations, festivals, cruising up and down the street. Did it all. It was just time for me to extend the wings and put myself in another market. I think that was put myself somewhere where I see my goals, where I want to be. Chicago's always in the heart. I always wear it, Chicago, but it was this time. It's like I said, Chicago and Gramophone's like the Jedi Temple, but every once in you gotta go. If you're a Jedi, you gotta go and spread the word. Now you gotta go somewhere else in the galaxy and you know what I mean. Take care of business.
Is the music industry different here?
Yeah.
Than in Chicago?
Yeah.
In other words, who's showing you more love? Is it national, international, Chicago, Miami?
It's a mixture.
It's a mixture. Okay.
It's a mixture. I'm fortunate enough to have been around for 30 years, 40 years, so I've done a lot of music, records and whatnot. So I have fans that have been around, since, even when I was a teenager, when I was first DJing, and throwing parties. So I've had the honor of, establishing myself in the industry. So I would say it's a mixture. I still get a lot of love from Chicago. As far as fans go, I wouldn't say too much about DJing there in the last couple years. It's been a while since I've DJed Chicago, but that's okay because I established myself wherever I'm at. It's kind of like Jay-Z put me in the middle of the jungle, and I'm gonna run the tribe that's out there and shit. Not say I'm running anything here in Miami, but it's allowed me to find my own niche.
And grow.
Yeah, I'm always growing, but it was just time for something new. I had done parties in Puerto Rico for a while. I had that going on for a while a couple years ago. But Miami is just, it's and everybody's here, man. It's such a mecca of, everybody's here, man. In the hip hop, got Rolling Loud, that was last week. You got all the big hip hop acts. You got Space here, is one of the biggest nightclubs in the world. There's no shortage of DJ and EDM talent here, that's for sure.
Okay. So question now. What is one of the craziest moments? Because we live this life.
Right.
We live this. Why I live the life. You're living the life still. You're in it. What was the craziest moments a crazy moment, not the craziest, one crazy moment that you had in this lifestyle, in this industry that you're in, that you've done so well. Because you're doing really good.
Well, man, you know, it's like that saying. My wife always says it. She's like, "Babe, your life is like that iceberg that people only see the top of the iceberg and be like, oh, you know, that's when and underneath the ocean, underneath the water, it's this giant piece of ice that people don't know, you know. So it's been a combination of things. But I will say one of the craziest. There's a couple. there's quite a few. I gotta write a book about this.
I think there's more. I think there's like a couple.
Performing live at the Virgin Megastore downtown London.
Wow.
Okay.
Performing Fix My Sink live. And that's where like Madonna's performed there and U2 has performed there and all these. It's not there anymore. But in 2003, I did a big record called Fix My Sink that was pretty big. And we kicked it off, the tour there. And it was in downtown London at the Virgin store there. And I got to perform live and giant stage and people were like, wow. So that was one of the crazy scenarios.
Mike, give us a juicy one, something spicy, bro. You know we got a spicy one.
Groupie.
You just thought about it right now. You just thought about the spicy one right now.
No, I'm trying to think of one that's
PG.
Daryl Pandy one day performing.
Daryl, yeah.
The B-Bash performing Booty Call at the B-Bash.
Okay.
Performing at the Riv.
Okay.
Daryl Pandy one day he sang Love Can't Turn Around. He was performing and for some reason he used to kick off his shoes while he was performing. And he kicked the shoes off and they landed perfectly as sync on like this upper, I don't know how there was an accident, but they both landed. I'm just like, damn, that was weird. That was a weird moment. There's more. There's the Daryl Pandy thing. Performing in Toronto on a boat. The whole boat was rocking. You could feel it rocking. I'm DJing and the wind is blowing. And the whole entire boat is rocking and the records because the wind.
Yeah, definitely.
In front of I'll tell you one embarrassing moment.
Let's go.
I got booed.
Wow.
I've never heard of DJ get booed.
I'm in Brazil. I'm in Brazil. We drive in the middle of nowhere to get to this club. Promoters brings me in this club. I get in the club. The club is a bowling alley. And I'm like, what the hell, a bowling alley? But at a certain time, they open up these curtains and it's a giant club.
Okay.
My name is up there, my face. I'm like, whoa.
They went all out.
Yeah, so I start playing house. People are not into it. I'm like, what is going on? I'm dropping gems. And people are just like, nah. And the girls are like, I'm like, what's going on? The promoter pulls me to the side. He's just like, I'm like, what's going on? He's like, we're at the wrong club.
Oh,
What? I'm like, what? He's like, I'm at the wrong club. This is the teen club. We're not supposed to be here. You play, it's like another 20 minutes down the street.
But they had your stuff.
He went in there with everything.
Yeah.
And boom, they put everything up. They didn't even know I was in the wrong club. That was yeah. I mean, there's more. I'm not even getting any juicy thing. I'm gonna be like, oh, tonight. I'm like, wow, I remember all this different stuff. Man, Puerto Rico was one of an incredible time. I love playing Puerto Rico because it's just, my goodness, there's more. I can't even think right now of the craziest things. But that's a couple out there ones.
So you're working on music now?
Always. So the way I do it is I'm always doing production on my own. I'm always cutting vocals, so I do. People always come. So what's the Fuzzy Cufflinks and the Bear Who thing?
Yes.
So I go. So Fuzzy Cufflinks is the recording artist. I record as Fuzzy Cufflinks. Think of it as like a Shock G and Humpty Hump.
Okay. All right.
Shock G created this alter ego called Humpty Hump, and he can be clowny and puts on a nose and Humpty dance. But the dude is really Shock G, right? Fuzzy Cufflinks allows me to do any type of style of dance music and get silly and do whatever kind of vocal I'm feeling. But Bear Who is still the DJ. Bear Who is just like it's the me. It's me. So that's the person that spins. I make the record. Sometimes I even make a record as Bear Who feature myself as Fuzzy Cufflinks doing the vocal on it. But that's I always have something going on as Fuzzy Cufflinks. I always have something going on as production wise. I have a brand new remix that just came out Friday for Arthur Baker. Arthur Baker is the guy, believe this or not, this is the guy that created Planet Rock.
Wow.
Okay.
And created A-E-I-O-U. And I was a kid listening to this stuff, right? And now I'm working with him. It's because he lives here. So I was able to work with him. So that song just came out. It's called Silly Games, which was a song he released 25 years ago. And he just re-released it on Friday with new remixes.
Wow.
And I was able to do one, and I think it's pretty hot. So I'm always doing, that. Always getting my sets together for DJing, for the parties. And I take the music that we play at the parties pretty serious. I want people to have the experience of new house and stuff that you're not going to hear, and test pressings, which are tests that we used to have.
So Bear, can you play us something? Is it something that you could do for us?
Well, yeah, I could play you something I'm working on right now. Actually, let me play you.
No.
This is my new remix for him.
No.
Yeah.
I'm my every thought but you in my mind.
It's all done everywhere here.
Any and every kind of way.
You did all that? Just here?
No. No. Thinking about the things that we used to do. Night and day. Kinda hurts, baby.
That's Robert Owens, and I'll tell you who Robert Owens is in a second.
So cold.
Yeah, that's just one.
Awesome.
So I'm always in here doing something. So it's like a one-man show. It's like the music, the gear, the parties, the tours. It's all, so it's a lot.
So if you were back in the 1800s, you'd be the guy with the cymbals on his knees.
The one-man band, probably. Yeah, probably. I'll probably more like a circus, a ringmaster, with all this different stuff going on.
Love you again.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
You're doing some great stuff here in Miami, and man, we're proud of you in Chicago.
Absolutely, man.
Makes
I've been
means a
knowing you
lot.
For years, and my
Yeah.
family knows you, and my family knows your family, and we're mad proud. And I'm very impressed on your life and how you decided to. No, I want more. I want more. I want more than what Chicago's giving me. I did what I could do here, and it's time to step it up.
That's it. That was
Level
it.
up.
I mean, I'm always gonna love Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Always. I'm a Chicago boy. But yeah, man. And then going back to Chicago, October 6th for the first time.
That's right. Well, Flavor Podcast will be there.
Flavor Podcast will be in the house.
Flavor
Boogie Beach, Chicago. First one out of Miami. So I got one in Barcelona, August 26th. I'll be in Ibiza, and then I'll get in Barcelona. And then Chicago, October 6th. And then there's a couple other ones that we're working on.
So there was a young DJ just coming up, and he wanted to get into this business. What would you tell him? I mean, you look at that camera right there that I'm pointing at. What would you tell this young DJ that's loving music, that's fell in love with music, and love DJing? What inspirational words can you give that?
Music comes and goes. Music is like a banana. It's ripe, and then it also gets really brown and ugly, and next thing you know, it's not new anymore. So you need to back yourself up with some education. Plain and simple. You got to be smarter than the next person. You got to have knowledge of self, and you got to be very, very humble, because even the hottest mother effer is not going to be hot forever. So, and when it comes to this DJing stuff, technology, technically, you're always going to be always getting older. There's always going to be somebody younger right behind you. I mean, I've seen some kids that are 9 years old, 10 years old, that are just incredible, just on this stuff, scratching and doing tricks and whatever. So, I say education is the way to go first. That's what I did, and then you could take you different ways, because you're not always going to be able just to be DJing all the time.
So,
you know.
So you can tell the viewers and your fans that I know are watching this. Who, real quick, in, let's say, one sentence or two sentences, or whatever. Who is Bear Who?
Bear Who is a Chicago dreamer that was actually able to create his goals, to achieve his goals. I would say that Bear Who is I would say Bear Who is not only with music, but I'm a businessman too. You know, I'm an entrepreneur. I see things and try to take it to another level. And at the end of the day too, I live my life on it open, man. There's no secrets. There's no, you know what I mean? What you see is what you get. But I'm a bad motherfucking DJ. I will put that up. At the end of the day, I'm very cocky when it comes to DJing, dude, because I've lived it, and that's something that's part of me, my DNA. But man, I want everybody to win, man. I want everybody to win, dog. I really do. I'm a sports kind of guy, man. I'm a team player. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a Jordan boy. You know what I mean? Like, let's win the championship. Let's win 6 and call ourselves the GOATs. You know what I'm saying? So, and I love having friends around. I love having people that I've came up with around. They tell stories. I'm a storyteller.
For the next 5 years, Bear, where do you see yourself? You'll be 55 years old. For the next 5 years, from this date today, where will Bear Who be?
I'm gonna try win me an Oscar. I'm gonna try win me an Oscar.
That's awesome.
That's
Why not?
That's where I'm at. I want to win an Oscar, and I'm gonna open up that chamber now. You know, that I want to get into film. I'm already working and doing some things and some projects, but that's where, you know, we're going. We'll do some events. But the DJ thing is always going to be part of my DNA, but I couldn't see myself still trying to tour and all that other stuff and living that life. I just, you know, it's part of me, but, you know, even Michael Jordan one day, I'd be like, that's my last shot, bro. I'm good. You know what I mean?
Word up. Man, Jordan, I just want to tell you that we love you for this. We love you for opening your doors.
Yeah, man, for sure, man. It's Chicago, man, of course, man, you know.
You could have said no. Even
I will. I do want to say this, though. I do think that I want to go back to this is bothering me. We got to hold ourselves accountable, and we got to stop blaming people. Oh, the government this and blah 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 and all that stuff. Yo, who cares? What are you doing? You know, and I'm really tired of the violence. And I'm gonna say this, and the music, man. The music, you gotta start holding people accountable for this music, and because if you look at, I'm gonna make this example. I've been wanting to say this. If you look at your iTunes and you go to genres, 99% of the people that are around us, the younger kids, are listening to hip hop. Do I blame the music? No. What I do blame, though, is the fact that people can't distinguish reality from fiction.
Word.
And they're not hearing anything positive, man. You know, it's like you said, Wu-Tang and NWA. I love NWA. You know what I'm saying? But it's just time. You gotta watch which people. What you know, it's dangerous out there, man. And if you're listening to this stuff and it's constant, that becomes a reality to you, and YouTube is a reality to you, and it's all about, you know, burning guns and all this stuff. You can't blame anybody else, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't. Oh, you know, I don't have the opportunity. The opportunities are there. The schools are there. CPS, people dog CPS. The opportunities are there. They just don't want to do them. They don't want to go to class. They don't want to, bro. If you don't change the narrative's never going to change. We cannot keep blaming people for our condition. You can't. Now you can't do that anymore, man. And that's one thing that bothers me about like, I don't know. I went off on a tangent, but
No, speak it, bro.
You know,
speak it. We want to hear this.
and I think the music's a major problem. I'm saying it. It's true. Look at the music. You go to iTunes, go to genre. You tell me every single one of them songs is explicit. Every single one. And I love hip hop. But it's time that we got to start holding these people accountable, because if you're listening to it, all you're hearing is about how many people you shot, how much money you got, and how many times you're going to get laid, and how and yo, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm, but I'm also 50 years old and I can distinguish, but that's to the young kids and just as reality. And let me tell you, what they're listening to is exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
So my suggestion is you start holding these people accountable. Don't be like, it's rap's fault. No, I get it. 70 years ago, we were still, civil rights. And I get it. But if you really dig into it, the opportunities are there.
They're all over the place.
Like to change the narrative. What people don't realize, it's fun as hell to be a gangbanger. It's fun living that life. That's like some cowboy, Indian, old school bank cops and robbers stuff. It's fun. You got to change the narrative. There's people at Humboldt Park, and I'll say it as when moms live there, grandmas live there, still living in the same apartment, no movement. Why? Because there's what for? I like this lifestyle. You got to break the chain, man. You got to break the chain. And there's the opportunities there. Jobs are there. They're there. Education's there. Programs are there.
Definitely they're not.
They're there by the tons.
Yeah.
I'm living proof. All my friends are either dead or in jail. Real talk. The class of '90 from Schurz. I don't know how good we're doing right now, but my point being is, the opportunities are there, man.
Big time facts.
Moms don't want to be involved. Dads don't want to be involved. Mom's not around. Dad's not around. Boo-hoo. So what? Guess what? That's the same story we've been talking about for the last 70 years. But you got to make the change, man. Look at these videos now. Look at what they're saying. The old drill movement. I don't like it.
That's what I was going to ask. How do you feel about the drill movement in Chicago?
I don't like it. I'm sorry, but I'm a hip hop Zulu Nation king, bro. I've been around since forever. I did that too, and people say, I don't understand it. Sure, I am. This is NWA on steroids. This is Dr. Dre's granddaughter. You know what I mean? It's the truth. It's Dr. This is Ice Cube's grandkids doing this stuff. The Cardi B's and the 21 Savages and the Little Babies and the Roddy Riches and all that stuff. I'm not going to knock another talent. You guys are badasses. Great. But understand what you're saying, and all the monies and the Rolexes and the Ferraris and the Benzos and all that stuff. That ain't bringing class to the project, son. You know what I mean? Not everybody. Dude, you can have all that and still be ghetto and be just like no class whatsoever. 50 Cent was talking all that, but now the dude's worth a couple hundreds of millions of dollars making movies and this and that and whatever. Power and Ghost and Method Man no longer goes by Method Man. He goes by his real name, and he's clean cut. I'm making movies. You know what I'm saying?
And cut up.
So the kids that are 13, 14, 15 years old right now, they're lost. But I'll tell you what, I'll bet you go to their iPhones or whatever, you tell me they're all listening to the same 5, 6, 7 songs. They are.
So how do we change the narrative?
Everybody's got to get involved. Everybody. People from jail. People from military. Everybody's got to get involved. Everybody. Parents. I think CPS should open up a chapter of their schools for parents and family. If you're on Social Security or on welfare, you have to give at least 25, 24 hours a week to school. If you're in jail, you should be allowed to get back into the mix of things, man. We need everybody on point. It can't be just, oh, this and that. Dude, cops are not the bad guys. You know what I know? Because there are a bunch of Puerto Ricans and a bunch of blacks that we went to school with are now cops. They're cool as hell.
Yeah.
They ain't racist.
Yeah.
But it's real simple for everybody to be like, oh, because people don't like authority. That's what it is.
Accountability.
They don't want to be held accountable. You know how many kids, when COVID came and everybody was online teaching or online school, you know how many kids never logged on? 100,000. We lost them. We never know what happened to those kids.
Wow.
We don't know. Who you gonna blame? You can't blame the kid or the system, whatever. The point is, that's what happened. It was up to you to you. Who you gonna blame, man? At the end of the day, your refrigerator's empty. I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna hustle, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, come on, that's the easy thing. Oh, cool. You know what I mean? I can't go to school, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. It's gotta change, man. And I know because you see it. You see it when the stuff hits the fan and everybody's running and all that stuff. It's fun, man. But it isn't. It's people like it's a race thing. They're right. The whites ain't doing it. The Asians ain't doing it. It's always the same crew of people. Why? And then why? The music, bro. I'm sorry. You gotta blame the music. It's everything, and it's a way to all hands on deck. Everybody's got to get involved. Military. Give kids an option to go to the military.
Yeah.
Give kids options. Yo, my parents, my mom, bring them into school. We need more people in the schools working. You know, the teachers are mad. There's too many kids in the classes. This and that. The principal is worried about losing their job, so they don't want to make any waves. So it's going to take everybody, man. And I'm telling you, the music, they got to be held accountable. And that's another thing. Where's Nas? Where's KRS-One? I ain't talking about just non-for-profits. Get involved in government. Let these kids see you and be like, yo, Jeezy, 21 Savage, we need you. Khaled, you're all there. God's great and all that other stuff. Great.
God, dude.
But the music you're making, homie,
ain't got me.
you know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody's in a Maybach golfing right now with a $2 million watch.
Right.
But them kids want to do it so bad that they'll do anything to do it. You know, Tekashi 6ix9ine. The kid's talented as shit.
Yep.
Oh my God, what a hustler. But it all comes with the gangs and all that other stuff, and it's that culture, you know what I mean? I would be, you know, I would wonder what an Ice Cube or a Ice T or a, you know, Fat Joe would say to me. Man, Barry, you're full of it, you know, da-da-da-da. But I'm like, I was on the teaching end of things. People don't know that. Like, I was a dean of a high school. And I saw it for real. What the issue is, you know, I want to be a rapper, I want to be a model. I had a girl, this could be edited or whatever, I don't care.
Go ahead.
She's 18 years old, it's COVID, she needs to make money, so what does she do? She starts her OnlyFans. Here's the problem, she's a senior in high school. So what happens to all of the freshmen and sophomores and everything else that are looking at this girl? Or your mom is on OnlyFans and you're a high school freshman, and people are like, yo, I just saw your mom on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of problems that are really happening.
Yeah, she's going to Pound Town.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Bullying. You know, this AI thing. People are going to lose their minds with this stuff. People are not involved politically, like figuring out, you know, all of that is a combination, man. And that's one thing to me is when people are like, oh, it's Chicago. What's the matter with Chicago? It's really, really hood because of social media, and people don't have the balls to be like, I'm not doing that.
Right.
I love Post Malone. I think he's one of the greatest performers I've ever seen. You know? But Post Malone in the wrong hands with the wrong kind of thought process, you know, pills and drugs and this and these kids are losing their minds because of it. And they're not, and people are just like, you know, parents or whatever, just like, yeah, just don't worry about it. They don't know what's happening. I guarantee you that all these murders that happened, those people that were shooting, whatever, they were listening to that music right before it happened.
Great chance of it.
Yeah, I'm not, dude. This is my life. I'm telling you what's happening out there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look at YouTube. These guys are walking around with stacks, bro, like mad money, diamonds, jewelry, all that stuff, and they're out in the hood like, what's up? You don't think you're gonna get shot?
Yeah.
Something's gonna happen.
Yeah, bro, Tupac.
Uh-huh.
Thug life on my stomach. Guess what? I get killed. People are crying about it. Nigga, you had thug life on your stomach.
Yeah, you're portraying that.
You know what I'm saying? You live by the sword.
That was
We need to change the narrative is all I'm saying, man. You know what I mean? Like, people need to focus on the message. Yeah, drugs, you know, I'm poor and I gotta come up. Man,
So, Bear, where does this love come from? This is love.
Love, what do you mean?
Everything you're saying is because you
No,
love others.
he's passionate about it.
I'm passionate about it
He's
because
very passionate
I
about it.
saw it, you know, and I was one that wasn't gonna get caught up. Dude, I've been surrounded by my whole life. Whether it was, you know, going to a private school as a Puerto Rican in Logan Square, and a lot of the teachers were racist because it's a private school in the 70s, in the 80s, nuns and all that stuff. You know, they had a whole way of doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? So I've been around it my whole life, and it's just to be at this point and people just like they can't figure out. It's like, oh my God, I don't know what's happening. What is happening? First of all, too many old people are running the show. You can't run the show if you don't even know how to text. You got to do away with the old and be happy with the fact that the baton's got to be passed.
Yeah.
You know, the way people have been doing these for years. Let's just say that was never the right way to do it, but that was the only way we knew. You know, but I think that story's old, man. The whole I'm in the hood and you know gangs and the drugs and. Change the narrative, man. And it just takes the person to have the balls to be like, I'm changing, I'm not doing that. I'm changing, I'm breaking this chain. And I used to tell that to the kids in Clemente all the time. You know, like, you gotta break the chain, man. You were here, I know your parents, I know they're around when I was around. You know what I mean? You gotta break that chain. You gotta be able to be like, enough.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be stagnant. Stay in the same place, just thought being, and just you know, I'm not. I hate that. I could never do that.
There's a lot of love behind your words for
you know,
kids, for younger people, just for people in general.
People in general. It's not the young kids anymore. It's just people in general. Like, you don't be afraid to think out of the box because the box is fake anyway. It's a fake box.
That's good.
So don't be afraid to think out of it because there's nothing there. There's, you know, you got to be able to, you know, and, you know. So, and I watch videos and I see who's who and what's out. I'm just like, oh my God. I'm just so tired of the same thing and then just, you know.
You just mentioned God. How's your relationship with God?
We all believe differently. I just think that whatever, as a human, brings positivity to you and uplifts you,
there you go.
Stick with it.
Come on.
Stick with it, whatever that might be for that particular person. Yeah, I'm a little different when it comes to that whole religious thing now. Cause I went to the seminary, I did all that, and you know. But I anybody that you know, I'm with it, 100%. Absolutely.
Uplifting others.
Absolutely, and yourself.
Lending a hand.
It all starts with self. Knowledge yourself, because you can't. If you don't know where you're at, you can't get somebody else to follow you.
Awesome.
You know, so.
So Barrett, I got a gift for you. Keep the camera on.
You got a gift for me?
Yeah, I got a gift for you. Where's my bag at? It is faith-based, this shirt.
That's good.
But there's something behind it. That's the scripture that's on it.
I'm with it.
And it's Philippians 4:13.
Which is
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now you can put that towards your faith and how you believe. You know what I'm saying? In the front of the shirt says faith strong. Your faith. You believe in God. We wanted to get this.
Thank you, man. I appreciate this. It's amazing. Thank you.
Honor you with that.
So it comes with a pen?
Comes with a pen and a sticker.
Thank you, guys. Flavor Podcast. I think we got to help the adults. I think the kids are lost without the help with the adults first. People like the kids aren't the problem. Kids are clay. You mold them. You know, it's the adults, and it's the all hands on deck. The adults need the help. And as we, the kids are kids. And you only have them 6, 7, 8 hours of the day. They got to go back home to mom and dad or Dio and grandpa, whatever the hell it is. So the people need the help. The people don't know what the hell they're doing. They front that they do. But they don't know. They don't know how to. They don't know how to take care of their finances.
They're still stuck in the generational curses.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to break that they're very
Break the chains.
yeah, and I want to live in the same neighborhood. I want to eat the same thing. I want to go to the same this and do that. And life is flying by, and other people that are successful don't live that way. And success is different to everybody. It has different meanings. But it's the generation, the same thing. There's a problem. Worry about the kids. The kids ain't the problem. The kids will go with how nature versus nurture kind of thing, The adults need the help.
And the problem is that those kids turn into adults and keep on doing
Listen, man, the kids at 13, 12 years old are already doing that. I remember I met this kid in 8th grade. They're like, oh, he's going to go to Clemente and whatever, blah, 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 cool, 2 years later, this kid's like gang banging, whatever. And I'm just like, dude, you're a little nerd, 12 years old.
Not so long ago. Yeah.
Their parents are like, oh, I don't know what to do, whatever. It starts in 5th grade, actually. People wait too long to deal with it. But
as an educator, that's good for people to hear, like parents that are watching this right now. That's good.
Ignorance is not bliss.
5th grade.
It starts in 5th grade.
5th grade.
5th grade is when the decisions starts to be made. Am I going to be popular? Am I not going to be popular? I like this girl. I like this boy. I'm going to start talking back to mom. I'm going to start acting a certain way. I'm going to start dressing a certain way. I'm going to start listening to this type of music. And it happens and mom and dad ain't even paying attention. They have no idea. They think everything is, no, está bien, yo tengo que trabajar. I got to go to work tomorrow. I'll just deal with it. And then all of a sudden, that little innocent 12-year-old, 13-year-old, actually he's younger than that, is no longer that. Yeah. And by the time they're in 8th grade and freshman year, and then people understand, dude, once you walk into high school in 2023, it's not what you think. Parents aren't ready for that. Parents couldn't handle it themselves.
It might be a wrap.
Most of the time it is a wrap.
Yeah.
You lost them already.
Yeah.
How are you going to send the kid to a high school that you failed out of?
Oh.
I got kicked out of this certain high school, didn't make it, but now my daughter is going to that school. Does that make any sense to you?
Edwin's Rio's daughter.
Yeah, well, Edwin Reels was a big idiot, and he failed out.
See how this works out.
That shows me right off the bat that you didn't put any type of
Thought.
or condition into it.
Yeah.
I'm in the neighborhood, I just go to that school and just deal with it. Let the teachers and the dean and everybody deal with it. We used to have kids and parents that their caller ID would ring and they would see that it was a school and they wouldn't pick up. They wouldn't pick up.
I remember that.
They wouldn't pick up because they didn't want to deal with it.
I remember that. No, I used to see the phone ring and pick it up before my mom did.
Like, so it's a big deal, man. And I spent, like I said, 6 years doing it. I was 2 years as a substitute, and then 4 years as a dean. While doing the whole DJ touring and all that stuff still.
Okay.
So during the day, my wife used to say I was like Batman and Clark Kent, or Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
It's like during the day I'm Bruce Wayne, and at night I'd be like I'm out there doing my stuff.
Got the bat wings out.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Barry, we want to thank you from me, JJ, and JC that's in the building. We want to thank you for being on Flavor Podcast. We appreciate you. We appreciate everything you're doing for the music industry, and we just appreciate you for the love you just gave us, and the love that they're about to see.
Wow.
And the love you gave Pam, which is also a close friend of mine. He's a close friend of yours. He's like family.
He's family. He's here once in a while. He comes and visits me at least once a year. And he's just a talented guy, and he's just amazing. He's not a kid. He's a man, but
I gotta say this. I'm gonna and put it down me right real quick. So Landy, Bear said no, so don't bother me for it. Zell me. The thing with the shirts, and I'll tell you, it was a plan a long time ago. And what happens is, I'm getting so many requests for these shirts. I don't have many. So it's like I need my crew to support this time and be like, yo, buy them. Yeah. Zell me, PayPal me. There you go. We need more of our people taking care of us. You guys were taking care of them. The shirts are $35. Okay. And the trucker hats come tomorrow. Oh yeah. I get the trucker hats tomorrow. They're $45.
You got hoodies too, right?
No, I'm just doing it.
Shirts.
I'm just gonna do shirts and my trucker hats. And the thing is, it's based upon my party. It's Boogie Beach.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that, you know, wherever I go, it's kind of like the trend. Like people buy the shirts to go to the party. You know, so everybody in the party has a T-shirt on.
Talking about Landy. How do you know Landy? I'm gonna talk about him. Right?
Landy, Orlando,
Orlando, yes.
House on the Boulevard.
Okay.
Landy was one of the the boys in the hood. You know, I had the St. Sylvester's crew. I came to St. Sylvester's at my grammar school. I was in 7th grade. I was at St. John Birchman's, believe it or not, from kindergarten all the way through 6th grade. But all the Latinos in the neighborhood, like, yo, everybody's going to St. Sylvester's. It was more like a Latino kind of school. And I'm like, Mom, I want to go. So 7th grade, I transferred into to over there, and it was a whole different crew of people that I met. And Landy was one of them in that neighborhood because all the guys played basketball together. I was a baseball guy, but we all knew each other from the neighborhood. And then we started off a party crew in '87 called House on the Boulevard. And we had 200 members. And now that I'm thinking about it, House on the Boulevard it was just like a house loving crew. I mean, we had girls and guys. We would go out to parties, and we all had our jerseys on. House on the Boulevard, and you know, we were real popular. And all the parties be like, special shout out and invite to House on the Boulevard. Why? Because if we showed up 200 deep, you just made all your money and the place is packed, right?
Yes.
But Landy was one of the House on the Boulevard members.
Okay.
And he just was incredible. I was very deep into that. That's what made me Bear. That was where I got my name Bear.
He says his love.
Well, I always. He still works for the post office?
Yes, he does. Yeah, he's still walking.
Landy, man. Yeah, we have a lot of friends. We lost a lot of friends too already. But Landy, buy it. Hit me up. I'll send it to you. $35 shipping and handling.
Support us.
Yeah, man. These things are like gold, man. I'll be like, yeah. I had a bunch of shirts before. And I gave them out in March to like all these DJs and whatever. So people are like, yo, I want your shirt. So I finally got them back in. And now, like, I sent one to Switzerland yesterday.
Yeah.
My boy.
I did my first Spain one.
Okay.
Yeah.
My boy was wearing it in the deserts in Turkey on top of a camel.
Come on, somebody. Thank you for being on the show again. Love you.
It's great seeing you guys, man. Thank you guys so much. And it was cool to kick it with some Chicago love.
Yes, sir. Let me get the
Time all day, baby.
So as you guys see, from Chicago to Miami, just a kid from the hood. Puerto Rican kid at that. Going through things at that.
Yeah.
Being poor at the same time, right? Because we weren't rich.
Yeah.
Look where he's at right now. You can do it too. This is Flava. We out.
We out.